We are going to discuss about the mustard, production of rapeseed mustard production in the context of climate change. Here we will discuss the what are the climate resilient practices. So in this current situation of climate change, how we cope up this uh, uh, and how we can manage the everything situations and weather calamities, or we can say the negative effect of climate change on the production of rapeseed mustard. Before that, I would like to highlight here that India is importing around 50 to 60% of the edible oil every year. You can see that from last 10 years, if we see, India is importing 10 to 15 million ton of edible oil. That is costing huge amount of foreign exchange. It is in if you talk about the last year data of 2020 to 23, the huge amount. That is figure is 1,67,270 crore rupees. So this is huge amount we are spending on importing of edible oil for meeting our domestic demands. Just look the global scenario of oilseed productions here. Of course, the soybean is the leading one. Another crop like rapeseed and sunflower, they are far behind than this particular crop. So in global level, the soybean is the major one. You will look the scenario of rapeseed mustard in our country, in India. That is in terms of area, soybean is the leading crop. It occupying around 44% of the total oil seeds, area of total oil seed. But in terms of production, rapeseed mustard is the #1 crop. Though it was, if you see the data of last 5 to 10 or more, that production of rapeseed was, it was ranked around 2 or 3rd level. But last year, because of the several favorable things, because means support of government policies, then expansion of areas, better availability of seeds, the production level increased, and it contributing around 33% in the total oilseed productions. Here you look that out of total oilseed production, there are 9 crops. The area under these crops are around 30 million hectares, and production is 39 million ton, and area's productivity is 1314 kg per hectare. In case of mustard, we significantly increase the area as well as productions, and we almost touch the 13.26 million ton of this production figure, with average productivity of 1,444 kgs. But you see, just interestingly, the Rajasthan is the leading state in terms of area as well as in production. In production term is contributing around 47% with a 5.76 million ton production, followed by MP and UP. All these 3 states together producing around 79% of the rapeseed mustard in the country. Just I mentioned earlier that there is tremendous growth we achieved in case of rapeseed mustard. Before, you can see before last 2-3 years back, or we can say before 2021, the area was almost around 6 to 8 million hectare. But recently, last 2-3 years, we crossed the area around 9 million hectare area, and also the production level. And productivity also has increased tremendously. You can just see the figure. Looking on the challenges, of course, the global warming is the main, because it's already predicted as a global threat, and because due to this, there is change in the precipitation pattern, there is increase in the rainfall intensity, and intermittent and long run spells. This also, because of this, there is increase in the number of drought years also, heat waves, and if you see the slides on right side, what will be impact of climate change on future our food security, how will it will impact. Just we see the if in the case of edible oils, here the potential magnitude of financial impact will be more. You highlighting in the dark red colors. Of course, the volatility of water will be going to decrease, and if each degree increase in the temperature will increase the at least 10% in the demand of the irrigation water. Likewise, the water availability is going to decline, and uh, global water demand will going to increase in the, but it will increase 19% by the 2050 as is predicted. And you see the figure here that India was the topmost country means withdrawal the highest amount of groundwater. The figure was estimated at 761 cubic kilometer, and so India is withdrawing a huge amount of. It is among the top countries who withdrawing the fresh water more. You all know that per capita of the water is going to decrease, and right now it is around 1200 cubic meter per capita. The impact of climate change as shown in this Palmer's drought severity index, that when the index is negative towards the negative side, the impact of drought will be more. Whereas when the index is toward the positive side, the impact of drought will be lesser. So India will be around the lesser to moderate conditions, or some areas are coming under the severe drought stress conditions. Just see this graph is showing that number of drought has increased. In present, you can see before globalization or pre-industrialization, there was less number of drought. But after the 2000, the number of drought has been increased tremendously. India has faced more than this figure all in more than 15 number of drought years until now after the 2000s. So number of drought years are increasing. Of course, this drought stress as the most important factor limiting growth and yield of the crops. Around 40 to 60% of the global agricultural land is affected by this phenomenon. Of course, this Rapeseed-Mustard water stress as an extended period of water availability. It affects around 40% of the area, which of around 67 million hectare. And during the water stress during the growing season, it could reduce the 17 to 94% of the yield of rapeseed-mustard crops. Further, water stress at the important critical stages of the crop has led to a drastic decline in the growth and yield of the Indian mustard. So if you see, keeping in these things in mind, what will be the effect on the future food security? If you see this, the projections highlighting that by the 2050, the requirement of the edible oil will be around 40 million tons. So we have to increase our ability of edible oils by the 2.5 tons as compared to now. So this figure have to be achieved from the, there are many constraints, including there will be no area expansion because land is, ability of land is scarce, then declining factor productivity or productivity of the crops are declining. Then there should not be any impact on the environment. We have to take care of the environment also. So the less water for agriculture will be because of the increasing population, then expansion of the industries, and of course the climate change. As in earlier slide, I mentioned about the food security. In this slide, you can see that vegetable oil requirement. Right now, we are around 25 million ton of edible oil, including the import. But around 2050, requirement will be, as I mentioned earlier, around 40 million tons. In case of mustard, if you take the contribution, we have to increase the productivity of the rapeseed mustard crop by the around 2 ton per hectare from the present, which is around 1500 kg per hectare right now. So there will be difficult task to achieve these things, and you can see that these conventional agriculture practices, what we are following or what we are doing in our agricultural system, we are more means uh, we are adopting the conventional tillage practices, including the maximum tillage, where our seed bed we prepare by tilling the soil by many times to improve the germination, for the better vigor, to improve the moisture conservation practices. For this purpose, we are using these maximum tillage practices. Means we are tilling our soils. Then again, we are following the clean cultivation practices. Means whatever the residue left in the field, we burned the residue, all the residues, and kept our soil barren without any cover. Then adoption of monocropping or fixed crop rotations, uh, exclusion of legumes. We are not including the legumes in our cropping systems. And then again, higher and imbalanced fertilizer use. There is a little use of organics, and again this indiscriminate use of irrigation water, wherever it is available, like the Punjab and UP conditions, and there may be other faulty practices. So what we are means consequences of these traditional farming systems are declining factor productivity. Factor productivity means that we are uh, not getting that amount of produce, which are suppose earlier we means obtain a 100 kg of rice with the use of 10 kg of urea or nitrogen, you can say. But to achieve the same quantity of 100 kg rice, we used to now we have to use more than 10 kg of this urea, or we can say nitrogen. So our factor productivity is going to decline. Then declining groundwater table and low water use efficiency, this is concerned. And then plateauing crop yield and reduced biodiversity. There are multi-nutrient deficiencies and soil health issues, labor and energy shortage, high production cost, diminishing farm profitability, and then rampant degradation of natural resources. Then climatic variabilities, biotic and abiotic stresses, and again then air and water pollution. These are the consequences of our traditional agricultural practices. Of course, then again, this is superimposed by the climate change effect. We have to deal more. In this case, we have to adopt the climate smart agriculture practices. Basically, these practices ensure the food security, that mitigate the effect of climate change, and of course, they have the capacity, they have the adaptive capacities. The climate smart agriculture term was coined by the FAO in the 2010, and basically, uh, it is an integrated approach to address the interlinked challenges of food security and climate change that explicitly aims at the following objectives. The first objective of this CSA is sustainability, means sustainably encouraging agriculture productivity to support equitable increase in farm income, food security, and development. And the second one is the adapting and building resilience to agriculture and food security system to climate change. And third one is the reducing greenhouse gas emission from the agriculture. So these three are the main objective of the CS practices. And It includes many components as highlighted in this slide. It should be energy smart, means we have to improve our energy use efficiency to control carbon dioxide emissions and reduce cost of cultivation. It should be water smart, means there should be judicious use of water and water conservation to improve groundwater level and reduce the cost of cultivation. And of course, the nitrogen smart. Nitrogen is the single, I can say, that single factor that contributing more in emission of greenhouse gases. Or in particular, I would like to highlight here that among the all agriculture practices, the use of fertilizer contributing more towards the emission of greenhouse gases. So we have to increase the fertilizer use efficiency to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Then these practices should be climate weather smart also. There should be proper forecasting about the weather. And of course, capacity building, that is means knowledge smart. And then carbon smart, means there should be less emission of greenhouse gases from the system. The one technology that is conservation agriculture, it's a CSA approach basically. And FAO has defined this system of production that it is a resource-saving agriculture crop production that is strive to achieve acceptable profit together with the high and sustained production levels while conserving the environment. Means it meets all the component of the CSA. What as we discussed, it should be food secure. It's ensure the food security. It should have adaptive capacity, and it also mitigate the or reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. But it CSA needs more. It's not only adoption of this conservation agriculture systems, but it's also there, as we discussed, it should be water smart, climate smart, nutrient smart. They're all component we have to taken in the consideration. These are the basic principles of the conservation agriculture. You might be knowing all those things. That means there should be no disturbance of the soil, means there is no tilling. We have to sow the crop in the without disturbing the soil. Then soil should be covered with the organic at least 30% of the area should be covered with the organic residues, and our fields or our system should be diversified. We have to adopt proper crop rotations, including the legumes in the systems, and we have to take. But as discussed, she is not only it relying on these three principles. We have to take care of the other things, means including the appropriate crop residue, because in rainfed system, the management of the residue or means allocation of the residue for the animals as well as for the our leftover in this field, it should be rational. So we have to, there should be appropriate management of the crop residue. And then another, we have to take care of the proper, about the proper means pest and disease management. Then we have to take care of these machineries. A single machinery cannot cannot be implemented in every field and every situation. So the implements also a site specific and crop specific implements we have to require. Then other crop management components like I mean seed management, then irrigation management, then selection of proper cultivars also a component of this system. Then of course this fertilizer, because in the CS system you may initially require higher amount of this fertilizer doses, but later on the fertilizer doses will be reduced because of build of the organic carbon and improve in the soil fertility. It's just see the global adoption of these CS systems. In South and Central America, 69% of their arable land is under the CS systems. Or It is and it is the 40% of the global. Likewise, the North America, 32% of the global and 33% of their own arable land is under the conservation agriculture system. So right now, up to the 2022, as reported by the Kassim et al., 205 million hectare in 200 countries is under the conservation agriculture systems. In India, it is around in 3.5 million hectare area. In Pakistan, around 1.3. Means this is the our situation of the Asia. Means around 5 million hectare area under the this CS system, particularly in the rice wheat cropping systems. These are the major benefits of the CS system. Means it improves the soil organic carbon content and arrest the decline in the factor productivity, and it saves the top fertilizer soil from the erosion. It enhances the nutrient use efficiency by creating favorable environment for microflora and fauna. It improves the water productivity and reduce water requirement of the crops by cutting the evaporation. It checks the non-point pollution of nearby water bodies, and it also help in the sequestration of greenhouse gases in the soil. It also improves the biological activity and diversity in the system. So overall, it reduces the cost, energy use, and ensure the efficient input use efficiency, stable yields, better use of natural resources. These are the major benefits of the CS systems. Friends, this is the why I can say the revolutionary machine is known as the Rapeseed because of ability of this machine, the CS system has been means going to adopted in the more and more areas. But such type of machines we need in other systems also. So earlier, therefore, that's why I mentioned that machines should be crop specific, machines should be area specific. Only then we can increase the area under this CS system. If you see that in a case of rice wheat cropping system, that CA technology, particularly, it reduced the global warming, total global warming potential of the system. Here, this is the puddle transplanted rice followed by the conventional till wheat production system. This is the zero till direct seeded rice and zero till wheat, and this is zero till direct seeded rice followed by zero till wheat with residue. So when we means recycling the residue, it increase the sequestration of the carbon dioxide more. Likewise, the single technology means zero till wheat, as estimated by the RL et al. It is means there is a economic benefit. We can say around 8 to 10,000 per hectare, and it also mitigates the emission of greenhouse gases by 1.5 ton equivalent carbon dioxide per hectare, and it is, means it ensures the resilient in the wheat production system, and it is also water saving, and it also improves the soil health. Friends, in case of mustard also, we need a multidimensional approach to mitigate particularly the moisture stress. So as we discussed, the CA is a globally recognized and widely accepted technology, because when we left the crop residue on the soil surface, in combination with the no-tillage, initiate processes that lead to greater water availability, and it improves the soil quality and overall resource environment and overcome the effect of water moisture stress. Along with this technology, we can use these super absorbent polymers, because this is a product, it is a patented technology by the IRI. When under the when water is available in the soil in ample quantity, this super absorbent polymer absorb the water in and when there is a need of water by the crop, it slowly release and it provide the water to the crop. So this is a wonderful product. Then again, we have to take we can use these plant bioregulators, because friends, you know, under the stress condition, there is increase in the production of the reactive oxygen species. Because of more production of these reactive oxygen species, it damages the cell wall, and ultimately uh, the yield of the crop will be affected. So when we use these plant regulator, they regulated the physiology or biochemistry of the system. They reduce this means they improve the antioxidant activities and reduce the production of this reactive oxygen species. So thereby they protect the protect the plant under the stress conditions. We adopted this combination of these three technologies, and you can see after this um, permanent is permanent. Here is permanent. We are establishing the permanent under the previous crop was the mustard. So with the use of this planter and with the use of zero-till machine, after harvesting of the mustard, without any tilling the soil, the crop was established. And this is the our traditional system when we have to do the tilling by harrowing, then cultivator, and have to sow the crop by this seeder. This is the traditional one. So in CS system, there is no need to do the tillage practices. Simply after harvesting of the crop can be sown directly. You can see the performance of the permeate under the conventional system. This is in the CS system, and this is the performance of the maize under this rice bed planting. This is means we can say permanent bed system without any tillage practices. This is the fallow system. You can see the performance when you apply the this CT as well as in below one in the CS system with the along with the SAP means superabsorbent polymer, and salicylic acid is a plant bioregulator. This is the establishment performance of the mustard crop after harvesting of the this permanent and maize. We have shown the permanent this mustard crop directly in the field, and you can see the performance here. Together, as we discussed, when you adopt the maize mustard cropping system along with the CA, means without any tillage practices and under moist stress condition. Under moist stress condition, we have applied one irrigation to mustard crop at the at 35 days to 40 days after sowing. But under the, you can see here, see that fallow mustard cropping system. This is with the conventional tillage practices and without any moisture stress, means irrigations were applied as per demand of the crop. So in these systems, the highest mustard seed yield was recorded when we followed the CS system along with when we applied the PBRs. PBRs means plant bioreactors. This is thiourea, potassium nitrate, and salicylic acid. And highest was recorded when we with the salicylic acid under the CA-based system, and we followed the mustard and in maize mustard cropping system. This is the mustard equivalent yield of maize and pulses and system productivity of the mustard-based cropping system. Here you can see among these three, means permanent mustard, permanent under the CT, permanent mustard and the CA, and maize mustard with C. The highest mustard equivalent yield of maize and wheat, maize and permanent was recorded with this maize mustard cropping system. Likewise, among the different most stress mitigation approaches, the highest mustard equivalent yield was recorded with the when we applied these bioregulators, particularly this salicylic acid. And this system productivity also, it was recorded highest with the PBR as well as SAP applied under the maize mustard cropping system. This was significantly higher than the permanent mustard under the C system, permanent mustard CT, permanent mustard C system, and almost this is the fallow mustard cropping system with conventional tillage practices and without any moisture stress. So This is the most, we can say, sustainable production system. Likewise, the water productivity, it was of course recorded highest with the Maze-Master cropping system under the CABS system. And this is the total water productivity, and the blue water productivity was also recorded highest under Maze-Mustard with CGA with the application of these PBRs, thiourea, salicylic acid, and potassium nitrate. And the green water productivity means here the consumption of this this means the contribution of rain as well as soil moisture was lesser in case of this green water. Therefore, the highest green water productivity was recorded with fellow master cropping system. Water footprint, of course, it was recorded less with the maize mustard cropping system under the CA-based cropping system, either permanent or maize mustard, and it was higher under the control. We can see without any application of SAP or PBRs, and this water footprint of this fellow mustard cropping system in general was higher. Likewise, the blue water footprint, it was highest under the fellow mustard cropping system and lowest in the maize mustard cropping system under the CA-based production system. Likewise, the green water footprint was highest because here the contribution of this irrigation water was lesser. Therefore, the green water footprint was more under case of CA-based as well as in the means cropping system based system more rather than the fellow mustard, because here was the only one crop, mustard crop. Production efficiency, then economic efficiency, sustainable index, as well as the carbon stocks was reported higher under the maize mustard CA-based system under most stress condition. Among different PBRs, it was reported highest with the SAP plus SA, salicylic acid, followed by thiourea. This is the carbon sequestration potential of different mustard-based cropping system. Here you can see the CA-based system, either permanent or mustard, recorded the highest carbon sequestration potential among these cropping system, and particularly with the use of this thiourea, salicylic acid, potassium nitrate in topsoil as well as in the subsurface soils. When we compare this CS system, permanent bed system of maize, there is significant saving in the resources like labor. This system save 9 to 38% as compared to the permanent system, less labor. And in case of diesel, it can save 31 to 80% as compared to permanent system, and 68% as compared to the fellow mustard CT system. Like water, it can save up to 62%. And of course, seed and other inputs. In terms of monetary terms, it can save in overall with the adoption of permanent bed system with maize mustard cropping system. There is a saving of 70,297 in input. That means it is in the saving of the inputs. Here you can see the highest means net return was recorded with maize mustard cropping system, or with the highest benefit cost ratio, and it was further improved when we use the salicylic acid and thiourea. Of course, there was significant improvement in this soil fertility parameter, including organic carbon, potassium, phosphorus, and sulfur content. It was recorded, and these were recorded highest under maize mustard cropping system with CA. And among different PBRs, it was recorded highest with the salicylic acid. Likewise, the intensification of the brassica production system means when we compare the these five cropping system, including the fellow mustard, cluster bean, green gram, maize mustard, permanent mustard, sesame mustard, and the three tillage practices, we can see permanent rice-based system, zero tillage, and conventional tillage practices. The highest means sustainability as well as production efficiency, economic efficiency, and water productivity was recorded with permanent rice-based system. And among different this cropping system, the highest values of these indices was recorded with maize-mustard cropping system. Output energy, of course, it was recorded highest with this maize-mustard cropping system particularly, and in today's practices, it was highest with the PBR system, means permanent bed system, over the zero tillage with residue and conventional tillage without residue practices. It also improved the soil organic carbon, as discussed in earlier slide. Also, those soil fertility parameters means like organic carbon and partial fertility, these recorded highest under the this Grigram or cluster bean maize mustard cropping system. So thereby, that's why we emphasizing the use of legumes in crop rotation, because they improve or build the soil fertility. This is like carbon sequestration potential, as we discussed earlier also. It was recorded highest with the when we followed the this conservation agriculture systems. Further, this among these three permanent mung bean, permanent this permanent mustard cluster bean, means when we intensifying the system, the sustainability or system productivity and property has increased significantly rather than the single system. Again, this slide is highlighting that mustard is responding well towards the when we increase the level of fertilizers. As you can see, and we applied the 100% basal of recommended, there was means performance of the crop was superior with when we apply the 125% of the recommended dose of nitrogen than the 100%, either in a single dose as basal or either 50-50%, means 50% at the time of sowing and 50% at the time of after first irrigation at 35 to 40 days after sowing. Likewise, this also recorded the highest water use efficiency when we increase the fertilizer doses to the mustard. This is again this cropping system and tillage interaction and crop residue management. Here also, when we intensifying the system like zero till permeate, cluster bean, then mung bean system. Here, when we adopted this mung bean and this cluster bean system, it also improved the soil enzymatic activities like dehydrogenation, UDH, and alkaline phosphatase activities. Earlier, we discussed the use of this superabsorbent polymers. When we use this superabsorbent polymer under the rain-fed condition, means without irrigations, at the rate of 5 kg, it improved the water productivity significantly as compared to the without SAP. Like another, silicon also has been identified as a for the mitigation of moisture stress. You can see we standardize the use of silicon in mustard. So we use like 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram. Then we identified that application of silicon at the rate 3 gram per liter, it improved the seed yield, production efficiency, and water productivity significantly over the control. Likewise, the use of biofertilizers, there are means tremendous scope for further improvement in the productivity. Here you can see this is the performance of the mustard in terms of seed yield under the 100% RDF. This is under 75. But you look here, when we applied the recommended dose of fertilizer, 75% of the recommended dose of fertilizer, along with the use of this NPK consortia and zinc solubilizing bacteria as a liquid. These are the liquid fertilizer. It means produce the yielding equal to the control. Control means up to when we use the 100% RDF. So in this way, we can save at least 25% of our RDF when we use these NPK consortia. Or in another terms, we can further improve the productivity of our crop when we use this NPK consortia or zinc solubilizing bacteria along with the RDF. Likewise, these also increase the profitability. And another approach is the soil microbes also can be used for the mitigation of the moisture stress. Here, we can see that when we use the consortia, that is the consortia of MRD17 MKS bacteria. So with the use of this consortia, when we use this consortia with one irrigation, we achieve the seed yield of mustard equivalent to the 2 irrigation. So by this way, we can save 1 irrigation when we use these consortia. And you can see some the data, relative water content, chlorophyll, this proline content, and acidic activities. They are means favorably influenced when we use these consortia. Likewise, the dehydrogenation activity, FDA activity, they are favorably influenced with the use of this consortia. The another episode, we have to develop the climate resilient genotypes as we discussed earlier, so that the impact of high temperature drought that can be escaped or resilient in the system can be developed. Then further, we have to identify the nitrogen efficient, or we can say fertilizer responsive cultivar, so that yield of the crop can be increased, as well as this quantity of fertilizer also can be saved if we suitable candidates of the genotypes identified. Then further, the micro irrigation, because there is need to increase the water use efficiency, as we discussed earlier also. There are a lot of means water ability is going to decrease. So these are the already recommended practices when means with the use of this fertigation technology or micro sprinkler, then efficiency of the fertilizer can be increased significantly. As you can see, under soil application, the nitrogen use is 30 to 50%, phosphorus 15 to 20, and potassium 50-60. But when this fertilizer applied with the fertigation, the efficiency improved significantly up to 90-95% in case of nitrogen, 45 to 50% in case of phosphorus, and 70 to 80% in case of potassium. This is the effect of irrigation method and fertigation in mustard. Here you can see the check basin, then micro sprinkler and drip irrigation system. When you use these micro sprinkler or micro irrigation system, the seed yield as well as oil yield can be increased significantly along with the sustainability parameters, and it also improve the irrigation use efficiency significantly. Likewise, the nitrogen use efficiency also improves significantly with the use of this drip irrigation system or micro sprinkler irrigation systems. You can see in case of check basin, at the higher level of nitrogen, it was only 18%, but in case of micro sprinkler or drip irrigation system, it was 23 to 25%. Likewise, the agronomic efficiency of nitrogen also can be increased significantly when we use this micro sprinkler or drip irrigation systems. This is again a strategy that is called deficit irrigation strategies. Means we should not apply the water as demanded by the crop. And that IWCP ratio should not be equal. So when we apply the lesser amount of water, then the productivity as well means productivity level also can be achieved as we achieve with the application of this 1 IWCP ratio. So by this way, that not only water, it can save the water significantly, but it also also improve this productivity of the mustard as well as water productivity. Of course, this is a precision, you can say, precision water management. And when this experiment was done in case of this rice and wheat, where the subsurface drip irrigation was installed. And in case of this permanent bed system, the yield gain was 561 kg with saving of 8 centimeter water. Whereas when permanent bed system adopted with the subsurface drip irrigation, the gain was 695 kg, around 7 quintal. But along with it also saved the 12 centimeter of water over the permanent bed furrow systems. But when we compare the system, means permanent bed along with subsurface irrigation, it increased the productivity more than a ton and also saved the more than 20 centimeter water as compared to the conventional practices with 25% less consumption of nitrogen. The another technology that is the resilient leveling, of course, with the adoption of this technology, around 933 million cubic meter of water per year can be saved, and the productivity gain in the rice wheat system is up to the 33.33 million ton per year. So it also mitigated the greenhouse gases by 1.6 lakh metric ton of equivalent to carbon dioxide per year. So another tools like with the use of green seeker, it can be a potential technology when we standard. We are also we have standard this green seeker for the mustard also. So with the use of this technology, 15 to 20% of nitrogen can be saved. Like chlorophyll, this LCC charts and SPED chlorophyll meter. These are the tools that can be used for the management of nitrogen. With the use of these, the significant amount of fertilizer can be saved. Then this another system that nutrient expert, when we put some, this is basically software. When we assign some values, it calculate the how much amount of fertilizer should be given to the crop. So this, with the use of these tools and techniques, the significant increase in the fertilizer use efficiency and as well as gain in the productivity can be achieved. So in conclusion, CA is of course one of the potential technology for the climate resilient farming, future food security and environmental quality. It improved the productivity, profitability, sustainability, resource use efficiency, and carbon sequestration potential of the mustard-based cropping system, both under irrigated as well as rain-fed conditions. Thus, it meets the objective of the climate-smart agriculture practices. Integration of CA with other best bet component crop production technology, as we discussed earlier, further enhance benefit of CA, thus development of location-specific innovation and alteration in the CA packages are needed for its successful adoption. Then, of course, the capacity buildings and institutional arrangement and policy support are needed for scaling up and scaling out the CA systems. So thank you. Thanks to my director, my team, and of course, training organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my research with you. Thank you all.